So let's talk about a trade setup that you guys are going to trade a lot. There are a lot of different ways to trade it. So hopefully you take away a trade setup that you'll use a lot going forward, and you'll have a context to how to put that trade together for yourself. And you'll see that there's a bunch of different ways to attack that trade. Meaning you don't have to swing trade it. You don't have to just scalp it. You don't have to trade it on the short side. There's more than one way to attack this. This trade comes up every day. Comes up every day in one of the stocks that we highlight. So let's go over it. So BABA was in the news this morning. BABA was criticized by the Chinese government for selling fake and banned goods, and opened up a little bit down. Also, Yahoo announced that it's spinning off its 15% stake in BABA into a separate company, also with a legacy piece from Yahoo. So the combination of those two things had BABA open up a little bit down on the open, right? And not only did Alibaba open up down, but it traded down, right? It held below VWAP, started trading lower, and then we noticed during our 11 o'clock meeting, what did we say? I was short it, and I said, there's one thing that you want to notice about my position, and what was it? Yeah, the market was pretty weak, and this stock wasn't really going down further. It had already gone down, but it's certainly, and Merritt, I think you said this, right? It was nowhere near as weak at that point as the overall market. So we call that relative strength. We thought it should be actually relatively weaker than the market, but it was actually relatively stronger than the market. And that can be a signal that the bottom is near. That can be a signal to lighten up. That can be a signal to get flat. That can be a signal for some people to get long. But that was something we definitely want to notice. And then the trade, about 90 minutes later, happened that I want to actually talk about, which is you have something that's in play. BABA's definitely in play, right? You've got two pieces of fresh news that we find this morning before the open that were unexpected. Two pieces of new news that when you come in today, you didn't know before the big snowstorm, okay, on Tuesday, and are fundamentally different, okay? These aren't I don't think these two pieces of news, by the way, are the largest changes. We'll talk about it. It's not missing guidance for the full year. It's not weakening margins. But nevertheless, there are two new news components. That's good. We say for something like that, that's a stock in play, right? So what do we see here? We see that BABA spends, if you look at the chart, we see that BABA spends almost the entire morning and parts of the early lunch hour below VWAP, right? So it spends a very long period of time below VWAP and then crosses over VWAP. When something is in play, spends a lot of time below VWAP, and then crosses over VWAP, you have opportunity. You can think about trading that on the long side. And conversely, if something spends a lot of time above VWAP and then finally shifts below VWAP, you can think about trading that on the short side. And so there's a scalp trade, and there was a really, really interesting scalp trade you could have made from that 99.72 area to maybe through 100. There's a swing trade. So VWAP on my charts was 99.72. The first time it went up there, it failed and pulled in. We expect that. When something travels from a long distance to a resistance level, it generally fails at that resistance level the first time, and it did. But that doesn't mean it's not going to eventually get through it. And then it came up and it actually did get through and above and held above that VWAP. And that, if you're watching the tape, that 99.72 level was important. It was immense. There was a lot of buying and a lot of selling right at that price. So one, you've got a long scalp opportunity. Okay, you can buy it at 72 cents. You can hit it out below 60 cents. You can try and scalp it through 100. Second, you've got a swing trade opportunity. You can buy it at 72 cents. You can hit it out below 50 cents. You can see if it'll go to 101. Thirdly, you've got a longer term intraday trend trade. You can buy it at 99.72. Maybe you give it even more of a stop and you see if it'll go to 102, 103. Okay? Depending on what chart you're looking at, depending on how you feel about the stock. So you've got a scalp and you've got a swing. But we're going to see this a lot. Something spends a lot of time below VWAP. It's in play. It crosses over VWAP, and you can get long. Okay? All right, thanks.